This is Navy Pier in my hometown of Chicago. Of course, also Charlie Kirk's hometown. He's not directly from Chicago, but he's a Chicagoan in general. And so this is one of the great places in our fair city there in Chicago, Illinois. Welcome back, everyone. We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It is set to ring here in about 6 minutes or so. As you can see from our big board here, all the major indices, the Dow, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are up in the green in pre-market trading. We'll get a sense of how things are looking the moment markets open here in just a little bit. Again, we'll take it to the New York Stock Exchange for the opening bell in short order. But first, let's get you over to David. David, the shine is off. You look great, my friend. Good morning.
Good morning, TVH. Appreciate it. Now time for our daily dose of dollars and common sense with American Sunrise Early Edition host, the guy behind Jake's Takes Substack. That'd be Jake Novak. Jake, so I thought America was headed off the economic cliff. I mean, that's what those economic geniuses at CNN told us last week. But Wall Street is putting its money on some other outcome. Tell us more. Good morning.
Yeah, we're going to open this morning at all-time highs on the Nasdaq, close to all-time highs on the S&P 500 and the Dow. Now, there are some people, David, saying, well, this is because the market's been rooting for bad news for the economy. Bad news for the economy means that there's a better chance that the Fed will cut rates, and that's what the markets want. Listen, there's a little bit of truth to that, but look, profits are the mother's milk of the stock market, and American companies are making profits. That's what's going on right now. Again, there's always another recession coming, but I don't want to be one of those guys who gets introduced on your program as, here's Jake Novak, who's predicted 7 of the last 2 recessions, right? I don't want to be that guy. So just understand now the economy is always in flux, but it is not in the doomsday place that the mainstream media wants us to believe it is.
No, we'll take your word on that. Speaking of CNN, Jake, there are reports that CNN parent Warner Brothers could be bought. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is a huge story in the media space, which understandably has been going under the radar because of the big news of the last several days. But here's how it goes. David Ellison, who just bought Paramount, the parent company of CBS, and now it's called Paramount Skydance, well, he's worth tens of billions of dollars more than he was just a week ago because his father's company, Oracle, shot up 30% last week. And now he's flush with billions of dollars worth of new cash, and he wants to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. That's the company that, of course, owns all the Warner Brothers studios and a lot of channels, but it includes CNN. So let's talk about the news business here. David, on social media and on my program here on Real America's Voice for about a year, I've been predicting that by the end of 2025, CNN would not exist in its current form. Now we see how that is likely to happen. When I worked at CNN many, many years ago, we were always close to merging with CBS. Well, now I think this is going to happen if this deal goes through, and I can't imagine anyone outbidding David Ellison for Warner Brothers. He's going to fold whatever is left of CNN into whatever is left of CBS News. The CNN name will probably exist on streaming and maybe some documentaries. This is how it's going to work, and it makes a lot of sense now, I think.
Wait, so you're saying CNN would go away on like television, stuff like that? Is that your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what they'll use those channels for is some other content. They may call it CBS CNN. They may try something like that. Remember, CBS has an online-only 24-hour news service. I forgot what it's called. Don't look it up. It's not worth watching. But you get my point. There will be some kind of a consolidation, and the value of its cable channel and that where it comes in on your TV directory is going to be very valuable. I think they'll sell that off or they'll use it for something. Remember, Ellison wants CBS Paramount to be all about the NFL, and I think they'll use it for more NFL content, if I had to guess.
Yeah, well, actually, it makes a lot of sense. Finally, Jake, I guess you have the story for us about, shall we say, special rules for China in Europe. What's going on there?
I mean, this is the craziest story I've ever heard. There's a Chinese EV called the MG3. This is the name of a car that China makes. Now, in European EU testing, safety testing, for the first time ever, there was a failure, a common failure in this car on something little, like the driver's side seatbelt wasn't working. The crash test dummies were flying through the windshield. Just an incredible failure in that car. And yet the EU, David, still gave it 4 stars as a safety rating. I'm sorry, folks. This is a corrupt situation through and through. You don't have to be a genius to see that. All I can say is don't buy that car. I mean, that's easy advice for me. But the more important lesson we learn right now is that China gets special treatment through their influence, through their money, and you got to be very careful with their products, especially cars. End of story.
That is a great, that's a wild story, and Exhibit A in the China preferential treatment. Jake Novak, good to have you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, time for tea in Denver. That would be T. Bates. The opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. You're going to hear the applause here in short order, then the bell will ring, and we'll get an idea of where the markets stand. Literally, within the last 6 minutes, things have changed in pre-market trading. You can see the Dow and the S&P 500 are now down. When we talked about 6 minutes ago, right before we went to David, they were in the green. The Nasdaq is in the green right now, which is good news, and the rest of the board also in the green. Again, that's pre-market trading. As I promised, you hear the applause here. The Deutsche Bank is at the podium. So that means that the bell is going to ring here in just a little bit. That's, of course, the German bank, but they, I guess, are a publicly traded stock, or at least they definitely have offices in Manhattan on Wall Street. So they are there at the podium opening the markets today, and they're doing so in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, as you see there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the markets are now officially open, and once again showing us just how quickly things are changing. The Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq are all now back in the green. You may remember literally a minute ago in pre-market trading before the markets officially opened, the top two indices were in the red, and now they're back in the green, as is the rest of our board. So this very well may be an indication that it's going to be an up and down day. Hopefully it will end up, and if you're investing, you'll have done well today. When inflation jumps and when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think, well, maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind, or during global instability, or if it's just for sensible diversification, the Birch Gold Group believes that every American should own physical gold. That's why they've created something special. Until the end of this month, September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, the Birch Gold Group is offering a rebate, of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and to start the process, simply request an information kit now. You can do so by texting the word America to the number 989898. Plus, the Birch Gold Group can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to $10,000. The Birch Gold Group is the only precious metals company so many Americans trust, as do their tens of thousands of customers. Make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by September 30th. Again, to get the free information kit, simply text the word America to the number 989898. Up next, we're going to set our sights on Washington as we get the very latest on the White House, President Trump, and reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. All of that when American Sunrise returns.